Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Just saw a surprisingly good movie, perhaps. I thought it was good. The Exorcism. Russell Crowe plays an actor playing the Father Anthony role in a remake of The Exorcist, which is dubbed the Georgetown Project. For those of you that have ever been on a film set, sometimes the film will kind of hide the name of the production so that there's not leaks or selfies or whatever the fucks from the ungrateful cast and crew. So, seeing that this was a Russell Crowe exorcism movie, I was a bit... God damn it, would you shut up? Seeing that it was a Russell Crowe exorcism movie, I was like, didn't we just see this a year ago? Like the priest's exorcist or the Pope's exorcist or some such thing with Russell Crowe. This was a very different movie. Interesting for Russell Crowe that he's embraced these horror films, playing a priest. There was some war movie that he was in a while ago. It was within the last year and a half that was good as well. Not a war movie, but like a military movie. God, fuck it. I see so many movies. So let's talk about this. Should you see it? Should you not? I think the horror fans will like to see this one. I also think the non-horror fans, if you can just stand a little bit of horror, you know, it's not a gruesome show. It's not a bloodbath. It's not a blood and guts horror. I mean, it does have its moments. Don't get me wrong. But there is some story here, especially if you're familiar, if you've seen the original Exorcist and so forth. I thought you could say that this movie was clever, okay? It was good. It's basically, you know, Russell Crowe's a great actor, okay? So he brings a lot to this, and unlike that last movie he was in, the Pope's Exorcist or whatever the fuck it was, this movie is actually pretty good. And I give it credit because it took two genres of film that are really cliche-ridden and overdone, which are movies about making movies, seen enough, producers, everything before and after. It's redundant. The Player was my favorite movie about the film world with Tim Robbins so many years ago. Actually kind of inspired me to get into this entertainment industry in some regard. The Player, if you've never seen that one. The other subgenre is exorcism, you know, horror film subgenre, exorcism. We've seen them. We just had another fucking Exorcist like 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago. That was adequate. It wasn't great. I mean, the Linda Blair original Exorcist is the Mac Daddy of all these things, and I don't know if they've made one better since, they being all filmmakers. This one took a wonderful approach, which is it's not trying to remake The Exorcist or be a better exorcism movie, possession movie, you might say, than The Exorcist. It's basically, like I said, taking these two, you know, black sheep, redheaded stepchild subgenres that we're all sick of, movies about making movies and exorcism films, and combining them into a nice souffle. And I thought they did a nice job, okay? David Hyde Pierce took a break from tossing salads and scrambling eggs to be in this, playing the consultant priest to the film within the film. I'm not sure who played the director of the film within the film. I thought that might have been the actual director of the fucking movie, but he did a good job of playing like the prick director who's got a lot of pressure from the studio to deliver a movie. He's taking a chance on this comeback of an actor who was great in his day, but then had, as he says, crawled into the bottle for 2 years and is spending 2 years crawling out. I think I'm going to have to move my vehicle because I see other patrons coming my way, and I don't No offense to them, but I don't want them to be privy to my review. So let's just, well, I guess they're going the other way. So, you know, well, Russell Crowe's a great actor. I think some of the strongest parts of this movie were early on when Russell Crowe is playing an actor struggling to get through an audition. And, you know, like I said, Tootsie, Dustin Hoffman, whatever the fuck and whatever the fuck. We've seen actors play struggling actors before, and it is something that a good actor can do. I mean, it's pretty on the nose. You just tap into that feeling of rejection and trying to please while trying to be confident, all these conflicting emotions that we have as actors. But with this, I mean, Russell Crowe is a great fucking actor. David Hyde Pierce, it's nice to see him doing something besides Niles Lane. I mean, I think this is one of those guys that was so good as Niles. We just kind of think of him as Niles forever. But he is a great actor, and he gets to show some different sides to him in this. The two young females, one plays the Russell Crowe's character, Anthony's daughter. She calls him Tony. She doesn't call him Dad for various reasons. And she gets herself a little girlfriend in this thing who happens to be like the Moesha or the Brandy or the whoever the fuck of the moment. Like the little singer starlet who's playing the Linda Blair character in this remake. I guess the hook of this movie within the movie is that it's an African-American young lady that's been possessed by Satan. So she plays the role as, you know, and I mean, I don't know if her character is supposed to be as young as the Russell Crowe daughter, but there is some, you know, age disparity there. But I guess they're two girls, so girls will be girls these days, whatever the fuck. But, you know, I like the movie, what can I tell you? So I thought the movie had some really good writing, really great acting. I liked, you know, because this is the thing. I was thinking of not even seeing this movie, at least not tonight. I'm like, oh, Christ, another fucking possession, exorcism, Russell Crowe movie? What the hell? Like, is this a prequel to the other one? Because the other one sucked. But then I read the little blip. I didn't see a preview for this thing. I just read the little blip, and it said actor with director, actor, movie within a movie, all this horse shit. And it got me provoked to go see the movie. So I went to see it. And I say this not out of disregard or disrespect to the movie. It's an actual encouragement for you fine folks to go to your local theater. I got to this movie. It's a 10:40 p.m. Sunday night screening. For most assholes in the country, oh, it's 10:40 on a Sunday night. Time to go home, to go to bed, and whatever the fuck, wake up for tomorrow. I'm just getting started, assholes. I mean, this is, to me, it's like 10:40 at night, Sunday night. There's no Sunday night football. There's no hockey game. Tomorrow night's the big hockey. The basketball, the NBA ended early this summer due to a 5-game Celtics victory. I mean, gee whiz. So I have all this time. There's no wrestling pay-per-view. The UFC had a big show yesterday. I've got all these wonderful options to do with myself what I will. And I said, I'm going to the movies. And I get into the theater. The theater is, I call the whole building. It's a very nice theater. If you take a look, I hope I don't turn off the video here. Okay, can you see that? That's a wonderful marquee. Are we still on? Are we still rolling? Wonderful marquee. The auditoriums, I'll be honest, this particular theater does not have the reclining seats, which everyone loves. But it has like a nice vibe to it. The staff is pleasant. And I do go to this theater. It's the only Regal theater left in town. Just a few scant years ago, there was 2 others, and they both went out of business. So I do support my local Gunfighter and my local Regal Cinema. I've been coming here for UFC fights, for boxing. I saw the last Canelo fight in this very auditorium, this very theater. I call the whole building the theater and the different auditoriums. And I've been on a streak of getting the same auditorium for several movies recently. Have been all in the same auditorium, so it's becoming like a little home away from home. It's wonderfully stationed because the men's room is right next to this auditorium. So, I mean, God, it's like just being at home with a big TV. So anyway, folks, I was the only person in the theater, in the auditorium, God damn it. In the specific auditorium of which this film was playing, I was the only patron. So you know what I did? I took off my goddamn shoes. I cracked my neck. I talked to myself. If I wanted to check my phone, I could have and not disturbed anyone. Did I mention that I cracked my neck? So I had a wonderful time watching this film, you know, and that's that. So I do have to say, you know, Russell Crowe, I mean, this is a strong, I guess this is my go-to rating now, which I probably gave the movie Thelma Comedy last night the same rating, 3 3/4 out of 5. 3 3/4 stars out of 5. I feel like if a movie has done everything it can do, yet for whatever reason, it's just not going to be like, you know, this is not The Shawshank Redemption. This is not Highlander. This is not Goodfellas. This is not, I guess you could say the script is just limited. Like, okay, it's a movie within a movie. It's a movie. It's an exorcism within a movie that becomes a real horrible, scary situation. And, you know, I've been on movie sets. I've never experienced anything like this. Most exciting thing was for me being in a scene with Meryl Streep in the film Hope Springs with Elizabeth Shue, okay? Yes, that's me in that goddamn scene. So, in this, I was very excited. This movie, like, maxed out what the script provides, and I'd say even the script, for what the context is, okay, we're going to do another slant on the exorcism movie, but we're going to subgenre it with the movie within the movie subgenre. I think they did about as best as they can. That being said, I still think there's a cap on the greatness of this movie. I don't think they could have done any better. I just don't think that is just limited. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be a 5-star movie. It's just not. It's not Steel Magnolias. It's not Citizen Kane. It's just what it is, which is fine. But it's not going to be a movie like in 10 years, you're going to say, oh yeah, that fucking whatever the fuck. I mean, if you remembered, what was it? The New Nightmare, Wes Craven's New Nightmare from however many years ago. I thought that was a great movie. People weren't ready for it. Okay. The breaking the fourth wall, the, you know, Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger, the actress from the first one, all that excitement. I thought that was a wonderful genre-breaking thing, and it came years before Scream, but nobody gave a fuck. So, I mean, what the hell? But I thought this one, it's really not like that, but I did think this was a nice variant on horror, on making movies who make fun of movies, or whatever the fucks. I mean, you got a lot of things going on here. You got the dead mom, which is always nice for a movie. You got the recovering alcoholic / drug addict who was probably abusive, or at least mentally abusive, to his daughter. You got the, you know, comeback actor who's trying to come back for his past sins. You know, Kevin Spacey-esque, you might say. Although not sexual harasser, but just a drunk and a user and a guy who abandoned his dying wife. You got the young lesbianism. That's always good for fun. You get so many things. So yeah, I thought it was good. That's it. And MikeMessier.com if you want to see my wonderful films that are very different than what you'll see anywhere else. Go to One Man and a Camera Films. That's the numeral 1, Man and a Camera Films. I would suggest, I mean, if you want to put your toe in the ocean, the go-to is typically Disregard the Vampire, a Mike Messier documentary. And then from there, The Nature of the Flame, The Impeccable, So You're the Guy. And if once you build up your appetite and you can handle a meal, you can watch my feature film, Blood Sugar Sid Ace. It's all on YouTube. It's all free, assholes. So, One Man and a Camera Films. And when I say assholes, I don't really think you're a bunch of assholes. It's just a polite little thing. It's like a little pet name I have for the audience. And, you know, when I'm driving around, I'll be honest, I mean, here's this person, there's that person, everyone's an asshole. You know what I mean? It's nothing, it's not an insult. It's just how I see everyone besides myself. So that's it, folks. MikeMessier.com. Have a wonderful Monday morning for all.